You're watching the Health Now Nutrition Podcast, advancing our holistic and nutrition industry one story at a time. Presenting your host, Michelle Post.
Here we go. How is it going out there? Hi everyone, this is Michelle from Saved by Nutrition, and I am so excited to be welcoming the amazing Louise with us. Louise has a fantastic story. I can't wait for her to start sharing with you. I'm going to give you a little bit about it, and then I'm going to let her say hello. Louise is a founder of A Change of Face. Love that name. She teaches women and men how to transform their aging faces. Just take a look at this one. And in less than 10 minutes a day, so they can look and feel younger without resorting to quick fix diets, a risky, expensive, and invasive measures. She's a certified face yoga consultant and registered holistic nutritionist, and writes a weekly blog, nutrition blog, that focuses on the benefits of eating pro-aging foods. Yes, she enjoys creating meal plans for both herself and her clients. She has created a signature face yoga program based on her belief that beauty is an inside job and happens through self-acceptance, self-realization, and self-care. You are preaching to the choir here. Louise practices yoga, weight training, and biking. She enjoys testing out her kitchen gadgets, which I'll have to share what that is. I love gadgets. And playing outdoors, where she loves to explore new horizons with Bailey, her four-legged companion. If you want more information on Louise and you want to get in touch with her, you can find her at info@faceyogawithlouise.com. That's FACEYOGAWITHLOISE.com. Great introduction. Welcome to the show.
Amazing. Thank you, Michelle.
I love it. I absolutely love it. So I'm so excited to have you because you're going to be sharing a topic today that is dear to like almost every woman's heart that they've gone through or have gone through serious issues, or, you know, maybe not so serious. Some people have clung by it. So you are contributing this story to the amazing Saved by Nutrition book that is coming up shortly. So can you give us a little bit about what it was like to write your experience? I'll let you get into that one.
Okay. Yes. So going back to all those, recalling all those moments in time, I have to say, initially I felt resistance. Like it was such a dark time in my life that, you know, it was like I struggled in the beginning to kind of go back and remember all those times that, you know, that were just, those times are excruciating. Then I felt vulnerable, right? As I started to lean into those feelings, the anger, the frustration, you know, I felt raw. And through that, I was able to feel empathy for my younger self. Like I really connected with my younger self, and I felt overall that it was a very therapeutic experience. Lots of aha moments especially when I realized just how much I dismissed, you know, the pain, the feelings, like it was just something normal to have, right? To go back and write it and really open up that, I guess, Pandora box. Yes, I had that humongous aha moment. So yeah, right. It was lots of wave of emotions going through that, right. My story.
And I love what you said to me about afterwards, that, you know, like, yes, it was like pushing you into doing it. But wow, like now you know why you've gotten to where you are, and it's so important now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Going back and seeing where I am now, like just, it's mind blowing.
Right. So yeah, I just want to remind everyone that you do have a story. Everyone has a story, even though you may have dismissed it. I love that you said that. And you won't believe how many people it will affect. So we're going to jump into it now with the amazing Louise, who does magnificent face yoga. And can you tell how well her face looks so nice and taut and like, I just love it. So Louise had some extraordinarily painful periods starting at a super young age, which even nowadays, I just have to comment, people think is normal. And I don't feel that it is. So just my experience. Why don't you tell us what you remember from those times, like how it started for you?
So like you said, I was extremely young. I was 11 years old, and yeah, like at 11, you're so, I was carefree and going out with my friends, and then to have this debilitating pain. And I had watched my mother go through it as well, right? I remember through the years how much she pain, and then I all of a sudden had it, and it became a thing. It was like, okay, so I accepted it as a normal because my mom had it. And but it was only growing up through the years that I realized that I had a lot of friends that didn't experience the pain, right? And I was actually, I that's when I started to kind of begin, like, why isn't everybody having this pain when, I had it, my mom had it. So yeah, that was a little bit of an eye opener. But yes, I had many names for it.
The evil bee. No, what did you say? I'm sorry.
The curse. It was the curse, right?
Yep.
Oh, but it was funny how we came creative and calling it many names. And yes, yeah, that.
I just find it interesting. And it's like, oh my gosh, you're a woman now. Welcome to the age of womanhood. And yet it's this.
I initially, I remember getting on my mom figuring it out, and I was like, yeah, I was excited. I mean, I don't know what the heck I thought I was excited for, but okay, I'm joining the womanhood. And my mom's just like, oh dear, right? She knew what was, I guess, ahead for me. So yes, I mean, and maybe for some women, I hope there's some women out there that, the transition is a lovely one, but for me, it was not. It was definitely not.
Yeah. My first couple of years were not the best, and I was very grateful it did smooth out my teenagehood. But yeah, it was not fun. So tell us about what kind of symptoms you experienced when they started to happen for you.
So definitely the cramping, so below the abdominal, in the abdominal region. Of course, I had major PMS, right? You'd be happy-go-lucky one minute and then just fly into a rage. I had bloating. I had breast tenderness. I of course got the acne right along the chin, especially when you're growing up as a teenager, right? But you're already self-conscious, and so the acne, moodiness, headaches as well, and just some, sometimes even my memory, right? I can remember just not even remembering things, right? So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So for everyone out there, I'm just going to let you know we are talking with the amazing Louise Breton. And if you want more information from her, you can find her at info@faceyogawithlouise.com. And we're talking about all the icky symptoms of being a tweenager. And I just coined that. I just made that up right now.
I love that.
I just made it up. So a tweenager. And of course the cystic acne and going to school. And I mean, like, I remember back in the day, that's why we wore our hair so long, because we wanted to hide and conceal, and we wore over our faces, and parents like, why do you do that? You have such a pretty face. Squish, I did not have a lot of fun with my face back then either. So when did it get to a point that you felt you needed to go and seek help, like with a doctor?
Okay. So kind of backing up a little bit, I did go to my gynecologist, and they gave me some NSAIDs, so to, naturally anti-inflammatories. And this was kind of like I called them my magical blue pills, and they definitely had an effect. They ceased the pain, so the cramps, and that, you know, kind of gave me that going on my merry way. And I tolerated the other symptoms. So I was still, even though the pains was taking away, it was still taking away the cramps. I still had all the breast tenderness. I had the moodiness. Everything was still going on. And then over time, it's almost like I became immune. It's like I needed more and more to get the same effect. And I knew that wasn't right. And I almost started to become drugged. I get that foggy feeling, right? You're taking 4 at a time, and it's like, whoa. And then you're driving and you're like, well, this isn't right. So like something instinctively just told me like, this is not right. And it was about that time that I was started working in a health food store. And so I was starting to gain more knowledge about foods and supplements. And so that kind of opened my curiosity.
So when you started working in your health food store, how old were you at about that time?
I was 18. I was actually doing it while I was going for college for another program. So yes, I was doing that part-time. And like I said, that really opened my mind to a lot of newer things that I wasn't exposed to growing up. So from then I got curious about the different health practitioners out there. And I thought, maybe there's somebody who could help me with what I was going through. So I think at that time, I just kind of figured I knew this wasn't right. Like I knew this wasn't a life, and suffering, all this pain and suffering is just not really, living. And I was missing out on so many things. And being someone who was very active and always on the go, and like I said, like to bike ride and go to the gym and be out, it was actually preventing me from a lot of things. And I was missing out on a lot of events as well, because I had to, quote, plan my life.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you'd have to know when it was happening for you. And were you on an irregular schedule then each month, or?
Yes. So it took me many, many years for my hormones to balance out. So sometimes I would go over 2 months without having a period, and then it would happen. And then they would be just horrendous. So, and I never knew, it wasn't like, okay, 20, 30 days, you can kind of look and go, you kind of can plan for it. But I didn't know. It would just, all of a sudden just show up. So it took some time also for that to normalize as well.
Wow. And you were eventually given a diagnosis, is that right?
Yes. So the naturopath that I went, he kind of labeled my situation as dysmenorrhea, which basically is painful periods. So he got me onto a path of, some better nutrition and some different herbs as well. And I started to go to like health practitioners and started to see some changes. Yes, definitely my beard.
What were some of the biggest changes that you made with your diet that you noticed a relationship with how you were feeling and your symptoms?
Definitely my digestion. So the bloating, the breast tenderness, I felt weren't as, severe as they had been. Yes, and then the pain also was starting to was starting to lessen as well.
Awesome. And how long did that take though?
I'm going to be honest, it took a little bit of time. It took probably about 4 to 6 months. It took some changes, but it is like as time went on and I started to see less and less symptoms, it gave me more hope And I wanted to get deeper. I wanted to, you know, make more changes. So it really fed me, right? It just like, okay, I want to do more. I want to do more. Like if this little bit, doing this little bit is giving me some relief here, you know, what more, like if I did even more better things for my body and ate better things, you know, how much more relief could I get from this? So.
Wow. I actually feel 4 to 6 months isn't that bad comparatively to some people may be taking years because of years of damage.
Exactly. I totally agree with you, right? This had been 11 and like I said, it took, I was probably, you know, in my 20s before I kind of sought help. So going through all those years and then to, you know, like I said, over time, to allow my body to change and shift as it needed to. So it was a beautiful process. For sure.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Because I remember, if any of you women are out there and you remember having those painful periods where you couldn't do anything and you're supposed to be this magnificent, loving, giving creature because you're in tune with Mother Earth and it doesn't feel that way. I'm just saying, you know.
I love it.
Oh my gosh, right? Now, I love what we talked about in the beginning about having better self-esteem and that. I do want to address that a little bit because even talking about how sucky it has been is also cursing it and creating a negative connotation in our minds that can actually make it worse. How did you start combating that?
I think through a lot of reading and books and through this process was learning to respect my body, right? And I think that was that big mind shift that my body, I fought the word fought so much against my body that, you know, of course it was resisting more and more. And then as I became to be more accepting and loving, right, to loving your body and doing more good things for it, I think that's when I made the shift to have a better relationship with my body. Yes.
Absolutely. And I agree with you 100%. As much of the time as I still want to go, why? It is really important to love every process that we are going through. 100%.
Yes.
Awesome. Now, how long was it after that you decided to start studying nutrition?
Like I said, so working in that health food store was a blessing. I was just going for a part-time job and I actually stayed there for 8 years.
Wow.
I graduated from the field I went into. I got a full-time job working in there, but I also kept it as my part-time job. I called it my fun job, right? It was my job to go in because I just fell in love with nutrition and you know, everything, the knowledge, and to be able, you know, doing what I do now, I realized because I loved helping people. I was so passionate about finding solutions. I was also trying to find my own solution, but to also empower other people. I think that's what was the draw, right? I went to my other job, was full-time and it was okay, but this was where my joy and my passion was.
Awesome. Absolutely awesome. And who do you love working with now?
Right now I work with women, you know, mature women. I'd say women 40 and over right now. So we're, it's all of the face yoga, but I love how face yoga complements nutrition because I teach right now. I have a signature program that I teach, and I teach a component. There's a nutrition component in there. So not only we do exercise, just like we're exercising our bodies, we need to bring in the proper nutrients. Well, the same thing with our face, right? We're feeding our skin, so we have to make sure we're bringing in those nutrients. So I also teach nutrition as part of my face yoga program as well.
Fantastic. And just look at your gorgeous face. It looks nice and in shape, like seriously. Of course, I'm just getting in there because I want to see more, you know?
Yeah.
So if you have anything to share with anyone today, what would you want to share with them?
If you're just embarking on this, I say, first of all, just to have an open mind. And a willingness to learn. Like in me going back to the health food store, right? I really didn't know this existed. I wasn't brought up, but as I started to read books and started to learn what good, healthy eating can really do for the body, I became curious. So maybe also to be curious, be open-minded. And you know, if you're experiencing any type of symptoms, a great idea really is even to just for 3 to 5 days have a little journal, write down what you're eating, and then in another column, notice the symptoms you're feeling, right? Notice if you're having some bloating or, you know, maybe you have a headache, write that down, because we're not always making the connection with our food. So that's super important. And I find even myself over the years, I've become more I eat intuitively because I've learned what my body wants and what it craves.
Isn't that amazing? And now you feel free. You can do anything you want. You don't suffer from anything anymore, though, do you?
I would say, but there are days like, you know, you kind of revert back, or, you know, things happen. But I feel like I have the tools now and the knowledge that, you know, I can go back in and I know exactly what I need to do and what my body wants. So yeah, it isn't, you know, you're 100% pure, but I do have the tools and the knowledge. So I'm so super grateful for my journey, and for me just wanting to get better and improve myself, because I think we all can. And I don't care. I teach with seniors right now as well, and I tell them all the time, right? Like, you always can get stronger, whether it's your body, whether it's your mind. It's there. You just gotta want to. You just gotta want to do it.
Way to help empower people. How awesome, Louise. That is just absolutely amazing. I love it. Because it is true, right? Like, we can continue to add the right stuff in for us to be able to build, like, mentality, health, spiritualism, personal growth, whatever the area is that you want to work on. It all works together.
For sure, sure.
I do have to ask you to just share with us one of these fun little face yogas that you can give to us. I have to ask that.
Okay. Let's see. Let's do a fun one. I do this one in the pool. So I teach in a warm therapy pool, and I like to bring in with my patrons there as well. They love it. So this is so like exercise, we do warm-ups. So this one's an actual warm-up, but it warms up the face muscle, but it also uplifts your mood as well. So I know, Michelle, you were kind of like, so if you're PMSing out there.
Thank you. Thanks for thinking of me.
We're PMS, and any ladies PMSing or anything else, right? Or I use this one, you know, if you're driving and, you know, someone might cut you off, get a little bit of that road rage. This really shifts your mood. So again, just sitting back, just roll the shoulders back, take a deep breath in, exhale, one more time, in, exhale, relaxing, just relaxing the whole face. You're gonna open the eyes nice and wide without wrinkling the forehead, and you're just gonna wow, 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 wow. If you do wrinkle the forehead, just place your hand there to hold it, eyes wide open. Wow, 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 wow. Can't believe they just did that. Wow, 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 wow. So that one, just like you said, it brings a lot of if you're feeling that, a little bit of energy, and it warms up the face muscles. I'm feeling it. That's a nice little warm up, and I do that driving. Sometimes I just groove it up in the morning, and I'm like, wow.
That is fantastic.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. They do love that one.
I feel like I was a cartoon character. I feel that I could be totally animated while doing that. That was so fun.
I see it, and you don't have to vocalize it, but I'm like, I encourage you. And I'll have those ladies in the corner, and they'll be like, And they're looking at everybody else, and then they start to get, because I make them do like 10, and they're like, wow, 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 wow. And then we get the arm swing, and wow, wow. And I swear the whole building can hear us, right? So by the time they leave, they're laughing, and it shifts your mood. And yeah, it's amazing. It's such a feel-good little exercise. So
That's fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Awesome. What a fantastic story. So all the way from 11 years old with absolutely in terrible, painful periods, later on diagnosed with dysmenorrhea, and then finding nutrition and other amazing modalities to help lift you up and regulate and diminish all that pain and symptoms that you felt before. What a great transformation that you have to share. Thank you so much.
thank you, Michelle. This was fun. I loved it.
So good to share it, right? So for all of you out there who want to know more about Louise, you can find her at info@faceyogawithlouise.com. And I'm going to spell that out, FACEYOGAWITHLOUISE.com. And you can find out more from her. You can send her an email and definitely start going, wow. Wonderful. Thank you guys, and we'll see you guys real soon.
You've been watching the Health Now Nutrition Podcast with Michelle Post. For more information on how you can be part of the holistic and nutrition movement, visit www.healthnow.today to book your meeting.